right, we good? Got our sound volumes ready?
Yeah.
All right, everything clicking. You back from shooting your wedding videos, Adam?
Yeah. Got the shine down in 3 days grace tonight that I didn't realize I had until yesterday, so no pressure.
No pressure.
I don't have to do I won't do better than Phil could, but as long as I can beat their tour photographers.
That's cool. There you go. Cool. All right. Well, hey, welcome to HP Life. This is number 37, and this is a time we get together to talk about Highland Park Christian Church, celebrate what's going on, celebrate its members. I'm Matt.
He's Matt. I'm Brian.
And that's Brian. And that's Adam. You can't see him, but there's his hand. And so we're here. We're talking about different stuff, and something that happened this past weekend. Actually, I was just going to say it actually has been a few weeks.
It's been several weeks, yeah.
And part of it was I took a little vacation in the hospital.
Worst vacation ever.
And I mean, there was you could order things and room service, but it was kind of late sometimes, and
it's sort of all inclusive.
they seem to be really proddy and pokey in there.
I'm glad you're doing better.
Yeah. I'm feeling great and got a good plan for things ahead. And then we also had Easter stuff going on, so we took a break from this. But
and last week I got to go watch my daughter's tennis tournament, so that was fun. And
nice.
I'm thankful that some days my job can be flexible enough to do that. So that was great. I paid for it because then I stayed up till midnight working.
Right.
But it was great. Yeah.
But we're back, and this past weekend, something really cool happened for ladies of Highland Park. There was a women's event at Ozark Christian College, and we had a good group. I don't know, it was like 15 or so that went to that, and I heard lots of good things. My wife went, your wife went, and several of the ladies.
Yeah, good group, and it sounded like it was a combination of the content that they heard and experienced, plus just the fellowship of being together.
Absolutely.
And those two things just made it great. So every one of the ladies I talked to were just so thankful to go. So that was awesome.
Maybe next year you'll go if you're a lady. Not you.
I won't go.
But the other ladies that didn't get to go or maybe didn't hear about it in time. It's like an annual thing, and maybe they can go next year.
My dad came and stayed with me because all the ladies stayed in my mom's house in Joplin.
Oh, nice.
So he's like, I'm getting out of here.
Come on down, Steve. And then yesterday we had a really cool morning, a special morning.
Yeah, we did.
Because we had Financial Planning Ministries and Christ in Youth come.
Yeah.
And
if you missed yesterday morning, then shoot us an email and we can try to connect you with some of the content. But the gist is 60% of people, when they pass away, don't have a plan for all of their stuff in life. And so sometimes it doesn't get to go where they would want it to go and maximize, adding value and resourcing the kingdom and taking care of their family and all of those things. So kind of the stuff that you don't want to think about.
Yeah.
But yesterday I found myself being like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, one of the things
encouraged.
that Phil said was that really kind of like impressed me was, you're either going to kind of give it to the courts and the lawyers, or you could take that same amount and designate it for a ministry or the church, and then everything else can still go to your kids or whatever else you were hoping them to go to.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like that allocation. And when you don't have a real solid plan or you don't have a plan at all, it goes to lawyers and courts. And
we also heard "Don't die in Georgia." That's what I remember.
True.
Don't die.
Yeah, because if you have $1, then it sets up.
Coming after you.
Yeah, they're coming after you.
Yeah.
And then during the service, Andy Hansen has been with CIY for almost 40 years. You got to interview him. And
Highland Park has partnered with CIY for really all of our existence almost, and we've had multiple people who were even employed with CIY before, and so many people been enriched and challenged and changed through CIY events. So it was great to have them here and to get to talk to one of our big partner ministries. So it was great.
I know this is dangerous, but you think we can list everybody that worked at CIY that we know?
Yes.
Jerry Wade, Kathy Tyner.
Jerry did graphics. Kathy.
Kathy worked for Jerry.
Yep.
Allie Carlton. And then Dave and Roseanne.
And Roseanne.
And also your mother-in-law,
That's right.
Nancy.
And I think that gets us.
I think that's it, right? And so, yeah. So pretty cool to have that strong of a connection.
Yep.
And they used to just be like a half a mile or a mile down the street.
Yeah. Yep. Just right down the road.
Which coincidentally, I don't know if you know, there's been a Goldie's that was there for years, kind of like right next door.
Oh, yeah. Right down
there.
the road.
It's actually going to be like a freeway cafe.
Okay.
So new restaurant.
It's not Goldie's.
It's not Goldie's, but
The tears still coming down.
new restaurant coming nearby. So,
Okay.
all right. But it doesn't stop yesterday. We've got something really big going on next Sunday.
Very big.
It's our annual day of serving. And do you remember how that started? I know it was like around 2008 or 9.
Yeah. No.
It was just an idea of wanting to do something in the community, and that's a way to show true worship.
Yeah. It's one of those things where we took a shot.
Yeah.
We did not know if it would work.
Yeah.
And we contacted people in the community and said, do you need help with some basic yard work? And people responded. In fact, so many people responded, we realized the next year we needed kind of
Limit
the
more.
geography a little bit more than we had before.
Closer
and
to the
so
neighborhood.
Every year we've made little adjustments
Yeah.
and changes to it, but it lets us get out in the community and care for people. So
Show
we
the
got
love
a
of
team
Jesus.
of people doing the yard work stuff. We have a team of people going to visit folks who may be homebound. And then we have a team of people doing VBS project work here. So there's something really for everybody.
Yeah.
And so that's what makes it great. So we still have our worship time at 10:30, cover Romans 12, 1 and 2. And then we'll make that a little bit more brief, concise than normal. And we'll jump out into our serving stuff and be wrapped up before 1.
Yeah. And if you want to be part of that, all you have to do is text the keyword DOS. It doesn't matter if it's capital or lowercase, just DOS to 918-228-5718. And it'll send you a little reply form that gives you an option to choose one of those 3 areas. And so we'll get you plugged in and
it's
get you
one
ready
of
to
the
serve.
best ways to connect with other church folks.
Yeah.
I mean, I have friends, and the first time like we really hung out was a day of serving, and so it'll draw you and connect you with other people, or maybe people you haven't been around for a while. So that's one of just the side benefits of the whole thing.
You know, we haven't really announced, like, one of my favorite things about that is often when we come together afterwards and we join somewhere. And so we want to do something like go to Woodland Hills Mall or
We should do
something like
We should
that.
try to do something.
Yeah.
We'll
We'll announce
something
that.
Sunday. Yeah.
And so you might, if you can, bring a little extra cash to join us for lunch somewhere. And it's just cool to hear everybody's stories on the things they did.
Yep.
So, all right. So that's Day of Serving. And then speaking of serving, we need you. The church needs you. We need everybody in the church that is able to find a place to serve. And you had a nice little
had a little
demonstration of that yesterday.
Had a little mishap with the old recliner. If you missed the sermon, watch it.
Yeah.
People asked, "Did you mean to do all of that?" No, I did not mean for the recliner to break, so that I could not recline easily. But it did kind of add to the illustration, and the illustration was, for many of us during the pandemic years, we did not just sit down for a minute. We like kicked our feet up and rolled back in the recliner and did not actively engage in any type of serving or volunteering for quite a while. And for some people, we needed that. But then it's been hard to like get out of the recliner and get our feet back on the ground and begin serving again. And we want to make it as easy as possible for anybody who wants to serve. If you want to try serving with the ministry and you can shadow, see how it goes. If it's not fine for you, that's fine. No big deal at all. Find another place where you can use your gifts. And so the idea is that everybody's in different seasons, but if you're in a season where you have the opportunity to serve, then that's not just, as we said, it's not a hobby, it's a divine calling to serve the church through the church and to care for the world. And so we want to help you do that.
You see it in Scripture. It's part of our regular habits of being part of the church, part of the body of Christ. And I would just say, like, I know, like for us, whether it's leadership or whoever, like during the pandemic, I mean, sometimes we couldn't even think past 2 weeks.
No.
And so we get
Yeah,
why,
absolutely.
we weren't just hopping in a recliner just because it was always easier.
Yeah.
But we kind of made this protective boundary around ourselves, our families, our lives. But once you're in it, it's kind of like
Yeah.
trying to get out of it, which was funny for you getting out of it yesterday. It was really, really hard to get out of it.
Very, very hard.
So I'll tell you the secret on that. That handle's been broken. I didn't realize that recliner was the one you were getting was from the sub. And that handle's been broken since probably 2018.
That's funny. Well, I don't even know if we found the handle yet because the handle was not on it yesterday morning. So
I think the handle was actually broken, and so it doesn't even work on it.
Yeah, I tried it out. Yeah, well, I tried it out and it worked this weekend.
Okay.
But I think in carrying it over,
Yeah.
I had put it on its side, and I think I busted the wood handle off because that's what wasn't there. And so when I reached down,
it probably just
like
fell because it was already broken. But
somebody just pranked me. So
that's even
either
better.
way, it's all good.
So if you would like to serve, kind of like DOS, same thing we're saying is just text the keyword serve to 918-228-5718, and we'll see that and reply to you and get you plugged in on some stuff.
Yeah.
We've been going through Romans. We are over 2/3, right? It goes through kind of goes through the end of May, and we've got some great topics coming up.
Yeah.
And if you're doing the read along and with your groups, it doesn't always match up with Sunday morning, and that's okay. You can read through Romans and still learn and grow from that. But you can also jump into our in-app messaging.
Yeah, and that's great.
There's been some really cool discussions back and forth over the past several weeks, and this is the thing. I know that some of that stuff is difficult to do. So if you have issues getting on there and you want to bring your phone next Sunday, well, maybe not next Sunday because of the day of serving, but on a future Sunday, and just say, hey, Matt, can you help me get on to in-app messaging? I would be happy to help you do that. Or have somebody that you know in your life that's a techie or a student or somebody like that that's versed in technology and to get you on, because I don't want a little barrier like that to keep you from getting some really cool benefits.
Yeah. So how about next week we talk about a few more groups that are popping up on the apps? You want to do that next week?
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll make that a thing. So there's some new groups that you can connect with. You can go check them out if you want to explore, but we'll highlight them next week. So we're probably out of time.
Yep.
So we need to roll.
That's it for this week. See you next. Bye.